Hello YouTube friends, it's me thechocolatemds, and on today's video we're going to talk about a podcast that I listen to by the name of Chocolate with a Side of Medicine. Now, I went to their Facebook page and I'm going to read their about info. It says, 4 Black female doctors hailing from all parts of the country have come together to share their journey with you. This podcast covers the whole gamut of health topics, all from the perspective of 4 successful Black women practicing medicine in America. So yeah, that descriptor is spot on. But I'm gonna go ahead and add my 2 cents. I love this podcast. Their podcast is basically a conversation between doctors, but you get to listen to it as well. I can't believe I'm privy to this conversation, but you are. They bring you in, they're entertaining, they're very informative, and they do their research. I feel like if any one of them was my primary care physician, I would feel confident that they would do anything and everything within their power to help me achieve the health goals that I wanted. So I wrote down some of the things that they were talking about, but before that, there's 4 doctors on the show, and it is Dr. Amy Jo, Dr. Nono, Dr. Chris, and Dr. Sunshine. And I love all of them. I really do. I love like their voices and their different voices and energy that they bring to the podcast. It's just a very balanced approach to the whole thing. It's top notch. Love it. Chef's kiss. But some of the topics that we've talked about on the show, they've talked about on the show are gastrointestinal health, talking about alcohol use and abuse, COVID-19, the Rona, pregnancy, how to, how not to, and the body parts that come together to create the pregnancy in the first place. So you'll just have to give it a listen. It is not just, your stuffy medical buttoned up white coat kind of situation or conversation. You feel like you're talking to like friends, your sisters, people that you actually know. And speaking of people that I actually know Dr. Amy Jo in person, for real. Like, okay, all right, okay. She doesn't know like my family or anything like that. But if she saw me on the street somewhere, she would speak to me and use my first name because she knows who I am. So I feel good about that. I feel connected. I feel like I'm on the inner circle. I know a young Black doctor. That's one of the reasons why I'm promoting this, is just based on the fact that this is something that I listen to and I want to share with you guys. Now, I am almost caught up. I've got 1 episode left, their latest episode. This last couple of weeks have been crazy. It came out earlier in February, like mid-February, and I have not listened to it yet, but that's the only one. I've listened to all the other ones. I spent my time listening to them and just gleaning, from their knowledge. These women definitely have done their research and checked out the ins and outs to these questions so that they can be as informative as possible. I just had some health things going on with me in the last year, and I can't help but to think that if any one of these women were my doctor, we would have gotten to the bottom of the situation a heck of a lot earlier than we did. I'm still going through a little bit of something, but it's a lot better than it was. So I can't really complain. But if you all knew, like, going from one doctor to another, and I feel like my concerns had kind of gotten dropped, I feel some kind of way about that. And when I'm listening to these women, I don't think that they would do that, especially if it was something that was a mystery and they couldn't figure out what it was. I can see them definitely consulting each other and consulting, their other colleagues about like what this could possibly be. I mean, anyway, listen to the podcast. And I say that only because we need to support each other. And I don't know if you know any Black young doctors, especially women doctors, but I don't know very many. I just know the one. And the fact that they are taking whatever it is that they know out of their head and putting it out on the airways for us to listen to me, that's very important. So I'm going to go ahead and link their site below. You can listen to it wherever you listen to your podcast. And if you don't have a podcast, you probably should listen to someone saying something on somewhere, because there are podcasts for every interest under the sun. I listen to several people. The other people that I listen to are celebrities, so they don't really need my promotion. This one, I just had a personal connection with it, and I felt that it was well done. I felt very connected with the women that were on there just based on the fact that they sound like friends. They sound like my friends. They sound like your friends. If you've got a group of women that get together and shoot the breeze and have a little drink and talk about things, that's them. Now, mind you, I would not suggest you listen to this with children unless your children are very versed in medical things. They keep it clean. I mean, and maybe that's just my grown ears listening to it, but as far as I know, they keep it pretty clean. So I don't think there's anything that you would definitely be embarrassed to listen to. It might be a little uncomfortable at times just based on the fact that if you're not open about talking about things, especially sexual health and that kind of thing, you may feel a little uncomfortable depending on who your audience is. However, again, informative, very just candid, very just open and ready to just get the information to the masses. So I think I've said enough, and I will link their site below, and I hope that you visit them. And you can also submit questions, so I'll link that below to their email address so that you can submit questions anonymously if you like, because they never say anybody's name, and they will go ahead and they will read it when they do their podcast, and they will answer it. And you can rest assured that they've done all the research to give you the best, most thorough answer possible. So with that being said, I just hope that you give chocolate with a side of medicine a try. So have a good night. Bye.